Check, 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 check. Am I audible in the YouTube? Is my voice audible in this? Hello, am I audible in the mic? Hello, check, 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 mic check, check. Hello, check, test. Am I audible there? Is my voice?
want to ask that. Why is this happening? Because the world has changed and the way people are making money has also changed. Only the people who are the traditional path followers, who are stuck in the job, they're thinking that if they work hard, they will be able to become successful. But let me tell you, they all are sleeping. And if you're watching this video, chances are you were sleeping as well. If you don't know what are the new ways of making money, how do you build multiple streams of income, how do you make passive income, how do you make money from your passion without having physical product, then I want to welcome you to a webinar which is going to help you to find your passion and convert that into a business. And you're wondering, who am I? My name is Dave Gadvi. I went from being in a job to building a multi-million dollar business, traveling the world, meeting amazing people, became best-selling author twice, and I'm on a mission to transform 1 billion lives. Q, why do I want to impact so many lives? Because I come from a very humble family. My dad was a truck driver. For 16 years, I was in a job, not knowing what to do in life. And I started feeling that यार ये बड़ी मजेदार life है. This is very good life. This is a new career, new path, new profession. I said, I want to teach others as well. I want to help people who are just like me, stuck in a job, not knowing what to do in life. I want to help those people. And if you're one of those,
Hello. At least it should echo here. Hello. 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 Good evening, everyone. Hello.
Check.
ఇక్కడ లోపలికి ఇచ్చాను పైకి పైకి సరిపోతుంది ఎలా పెట్టించుకోమంటారా లైక్ దిస్ దట్స్ ఇట్ సో ఈ పాకెట్ పెట్టేసుకుంటే సరిపోతుంది సార్ అంతేనంటారా అంటే ఇలా హుక్అప్ చేసేయండి బెల్ట్కి or you can just hold it please unmute it. Okay
Correct. Bed.
Can you check now? And
Hello.
you on this speakers.
I mean, I'll still be here. I'll still be here trying to demonstrate it.
For presentation.
I have this. Is it working?
Desktop మీద ఉన్నాయి కదా రెండు
Yes, bro.
2 వీడియోస్ డెస్క్టాప్ మీద ఉన్నాయి
Is latest again?
లేటెస్ట్ డే ఫస్ట్ లాస్ట్ స్లైడ్ వచ్చింది
Oh.
బ్యాక్ పెట్టిన ఫస్ట్
So let someone.
Oh, yeah, right. Yep. Give me my phone. So, ఒక్కసారి మనం ఈ రెండింటిని రివర్స్ చేద్దాం. Let that be the opening one. Alright. అది ఎందుకు వస్తుంది?
డెస్క్టాప్ మీద పెట్టేసాను ఇదే పెట్టాను నేను ఇదే కదా
Oh, hey Rashi.
I got Chotu guest also.
Ah, she came.
Yeah, Sandy is also here.
That was pretty cool.
Sandy is here for product launch.
That's not free and
You guys will be
I don't know what the hell that is.
You appreciate all the effort and say congratulations.
Two ಇದೆ.
డెస్క్టాప్ ఇదేమో మనకు కావట్లేదు
యాక్చువల్లీ ఈ వీడియోని మన ఇంట్రో వీడియోని మనం ఎందుకు పీపీటీలో వేయట్లేదు అక్కడే చెప్పే చేసుకోవచ్చు కదా అప్పుడు నేను పీపీటీ నుంచి బయటికి వచ్చి చేయాల్సి వస్తుంది కదా
జస్ట్ మీరు అప్పుడు జస్ట్ ఇలా అన్నాను చాలా వచ్చేస్తుంది ఇలా పెట్టండి అది కూడా ఓపెన్ చేసి పెడతాను పీపీటీ
నా ఆడిలో నాకు రాదు
వచ్చింది ఏం కాదు
దానికన్నా దీంట్లో ఎంబెడ్ చేసేసేయండి ఓకే షూర్ ఐల్ సీ యూ ఇన్ అ బిట్ నాలో స్క్రీన్ 1లో వేసేసే రాదు ఆ స్క్రీన్ 2లో వేసేసే రాదు ఇందులో వేసేసుకుంటే అయిపోద్ది కదా
ఫస్ట్ ఫస్ట్ నేషనల్ లెవెల్
దీంట్లో ఫుల్ స్క్రీన్ డ్రాగన్ డ్రాప్ చేసేసుకుంటే ఆడియో వస్తుందో లేదో చూసుకో ఒకసారి అవట్లేదా
This will be the first on the list, which will give you the enter using password. This will work.
ఓకే నాట్ స్టార్ వెబ్ క్యూఏ ఓకే
Now, sir, you make a paper assignment.
no, I think I just remembered. Yeah. Yeah, delete that desktop. I don't know. They propose it as an option. Do it.
Business flow.
That's flow and you
Business flow, you can showcase everything. On the display is populated here. Click on view. Just click on the edit button. You have all the steps.
Okay.
You can edit code. You can edit, replace, delete everything.
Okay.
Business flow. Just
సరే అయితే ఒక పోస్ట్ ఇట్ పెట్టేసుకుంటాను ప్లే చేస్తే మ్యూజిక్ వస్తుందా చూడు
ఇక్కడ
ప్లే పర్లేదు సార్
రాదు అలా ఆఫ్ చేశారు
అదే పీపీటీలో అంటే ఆడియో రాదా
ఉంటుందన్న వాళ్ళు ఆఫ్ చేశారు వ్యూ పెట్టేసి
ఒకసారి ఆడియో ఆన్ చేయండి కెన్ యూ ఆన్ ద ఆడియో స్పీకర్
ఇచ్చారు ఓకేనా
ప్రజెంటేషన్లో పెట్టు ఒక్కసారి
ఇప్పుడు ఏం పెడుతుంది ఇది టీమ్స్ మ్యూట్ పెట్టాలి
యా ఫస్ట్ అది ఇక్కడ ఉందా సో దీన్ని ఏం చేయాలంటే ఇప్పుడు ఇఫ్ ఐ డూ దిస్
ప్లే బటన్ మధ్యలో
Okay. Okay, I can switch it off. Yeah. Teams do not disturb లో పెట్టేసాయి. నేను టీమ్స్ నేను ఆన్లో ఉండాలి, స్క్రీన్ షేర్ ఉంటుందిగా. బట్ ఐ వాజ్ అండ్ డూ నాట్ డిస్టర్బ్. ఎవరు ఇన్ని డెస్క్టాప్లు మాత్రం డూ నాట్ డిస్టర్బ్. ఇంతనా?
అంతే ఇది క్లోజ్ చేసాను నీకు. ఇది ప్లే అంటే షో స్టార్ట్ ఒకటే
అక్కడ పెట్టండి కదా.
డైరెక్ట్గా ఉంది. అండ్ మీరు ఈ టీమ్స్ కాల్లో ఆన్ హోల్లో ఉన్నారు.
స్టార్ట్ చేయి. షేర్లో పెట్టాలా స్క్రీన్ షేర్?
you'll have to first resume ఉంది చూడండి. resume కొట్టండి. resume share share the screen.
అప్పుడు ఇది షేర్ అవుతుంది కదా?
ఇదే షేర్.
కాదు, పీపీటీ మోడ్ షేర్ అవుతుందా, ఇది షేర్ అవుతుందా?
అది share.
కెన్ వి కన్ఫర్మ్?
చూడాలి ఒకసారి.
ఒక్కసారి మీ దానిలో కానీ ఏమైనా చూస్తారా? నా ఫోన్
నాకు అర్థం చూడండి.
ఏది పీపీటీ మోడా?
ఇది షేర్ అవుతుంది.
యా. స్వాప్ డిస్ప్లేస్ అని ఉంటుంది అండ్ స్వాప్ డిస్ప్లేస్ అని ఎంతకైనా దర్శనం ఇంకోటి ఉండదు. వాళ్ళు దే కెన్ ఓన్లీ సీ ద విండో కదా, వై దే నీడ్ టు సీ ద హోల్ స్క్రీన్?
వస్తుంది కదా. నా ఫైన్. ఇక్కడ ఇల్లు ఉన్నారు కదా మనం.
లెట్స్ జస్ట్ షేర్ ద విండో. షేర్ ద విండో. సో ఇఫ్ ఐ జస్ట్ షేర్డ్
షేర్ క్లిక్.
స్టక్ అవుతుందా ల్యాప్టాప్?
లీవ్ చేసి మళ్ళీ లాగిన్ అవుతారా? లీవ్ చేసి మళ్ళీ లాగిన్ అవుతారా?
యా. హౌస్ కాల్ క్వాలిటీ మొహం.
లాగిన్ గో టు క్యాలెండర్. మీరు అంత స్లో అయిపోయింది మీకు.
Yeah, I think
మల్టిపుల్ విండోస్ ఉన్నాయా?
too many things running. If I want to restart, Nirmala, ఇప్పుడు మన దగ్గర అన్ని క్రెడెన్షియల్స్ ఉన్నాయి. If I want to restart my machine,
అన్ని సేవ్ అయ్యాయి.
అన్ని క్రోమ్లో సేవ్ చేశాను.
okay, I'm restarting. Teams.
ఒకసారి ఇప్పుడు ఇంకొకసారి ట్రై చేయండి అన్న. ఎందుకంటే అది ఒకటే ఉంది కదా. ఆ డెక్ తీస్తే మీరు ఇంకేం మార్చరు కదా. ఒకసారి
రీస్టార్ట్ చేసిన టీమ్స్ లో క్రెడెన్షియల్స్ షేర్ చేశాను.
జాయిన్ చేయండి. ఒకసారి జాయిన్ చేయండి.
డబుల్ క్లిక్ చేయాల్సి వస్తుంది అన్నిటికీ.
ఓకే. ఇప్పుడు
కాదు నేను అంటుంది అక్కడ అప్లికేషన్ కూడా ఇఫ్ ఐ నీడ్ టు స్టార్ట్ డబుల్ క్లికింగ్ అండ్ స్లగిష్నెస్ వచ్చిందంటే ప్రాబ్లమ్ అవుతుంది. ఈవెన్ ఇఫ్ ఇట్స్ మినిట్ లేట్ ఐమ్ గోనా రీస్టార్ట్ దిస్.
ఇది క్లోజ్ ఇక్కడే పెట్టాలి డెస్క్టాప్ మీద. వచ్చింది కదా అక్కడే.
దేనికి వచ్చింది నాకు ఎందుకు అట్లా ఎక్కడ కూడా అట్లా
ఇంకో డెస్క్టాప్ ఉందన్న.
అమ్మా.
వస్తుందండి.
రీస్టార్ట్.
Because it started sticking, moving.
Hey, get all the URLs.
Everything is saved anta, so
మెయిల్ లో కూడా ఉన్నాయి.
okay.
Oh yeah, very good.
What
Can you
happened?
write those questions for? You need it or you need us to write something?
Sridhar was saying he'll write the projects that have data in it and all that. Literally, we have been fighting for 6 hours and 6 hours we have been trying to set this whole thing up.
Just in the Teams call.
Oh dear Lord. Okay, so product launch demo. Is it
Yeah.
just now?
Just now, I know.
Okay, thank you. I have no clue, sir. I'm hoping it will fix now. Yeah. It's improved, but I need to open my PPT. చాలా పెద్ద
చాలా 1 GB కాదు 120 MB ఇలాగా మనకి ఎంత షేర్ చేయండి ఒకసారి స్క్రీన్
సో దిస్ ఇస్ ఫైన్.
టీమ్ షేరింగ్
టీమ్ షేరింగ్ పెట్టాలి. అమ్మా దీన్ని కెన్ ఐ జస్ట్ నాట్ టేక్ ఇట్ ఇన్ టు దట్ అదర్ ఇది డెస్క్టాప్?
అది స్వాప్లో రాదు మీకు.
వస్తుంది అనుకుంటా స్వాప్లో కూడా చూద్దాం.
యూ వాంట్ జస్ట్ పుట్ స్క్రీన్ షేరా? అది మళ్ళీ ఏ డెస్క్టాప్ తెలియదు కదా.
ఇక్కడ ఇది ఉన్నాను చెప్తాను. సో ఒక కాలేజ్ వస్తుంది ఫుల్ స్క్రీన్ మోడ్ పెట్టు నాకు కనిపిస్తుంది.
And still it is showing this only.
Can you try here? Just will make it try.
ఏమైంది?
Open to them.
Open TED application.
Searching for TED in Google Play.
గూగుల్ ప్లేవా?
నేను ఇది ఆడ తక్కలేకపోతాను. ఇట్స్ సెట్. వాట్ హ్యాపెండ్? వాట్ షుడ్ ఐ డు? ఆ క్లిక్కర్ తోటి మూవ్ అవుతుందా?
అవుతుంది
క్లిక్కర్ తోటి పీపీటీ ఆపరేట్ అవుతుంది కదా.
ట్రై చేయండి ఒకసారి.
ప్లే చేయడం డైరెక్ట్గా నొక్కున్నాను.
ప్లస్ సెకండ్ అవుతుంది.
సెకండ్ అది నెక్స్ట్ కొట్టారు కదా అయింది కదా
అవుతుంది.
అందుకే సార్
మీరు తీసేసేస్తే కింద పెట్టేసుకుంటారు.
యా
మీరు కింద పెట్టేసుకున్న తర్వాత ఇది
అది కూడా వస్తుంది స్క్రీన్లో కాదుగా.
వస్తుంది అక్కడ వస్తుంది
Yeah, అక్కడేం కనిపించలేదు. వదిలేసి ఒకసారి టీమ్స్లో నేను డిఎన్డీలో ఉన్నాను లేదు చూడండి. Alright, man.
You will do it. I'm not even worried about it.
You're confident on your.
Oh, God.
I mean, once you get started, I think it's just.
No, I think your team has put the whole thing together pretty well, so I'm confident.
Hi everyone.
Apple icons కనిపిస్తుంది.
Hello. Can you all hear me? Okay, please. I think we're ready to get started. It's been a few minutes delay from our side due to the usual reason. Can we please get everyone come over this side, please? The most important people, delivery folks. Products is the center stage for today. I hate this spotlight, but okay. All of you who are still working, can you please stop for a moment and then please come over to this side. High Plaza. People who are talking, please park your conversations. People online, can you hear me okay? Can someone put that in chat? People online, can you hear me okay? No one is saying? No. People who have joined us online, can you hear me okay? Please put that in the chat box. If you can hear me okay, please say yes, or please type yes to be very specific. By default, all those who are there online, their mics have been muted. Okay, great. I've got multiple confirmations. Okay, all of your conversations, please park them. I can still see some people behind. There's one, probably the most studious guy sitting on the corner. Sir. Okay, alrighty. Fair enough. Should we get started? Okay, so it's a very important day for all of us. And please, hello, conversations, please. All right, can you all hear me okay at the back? Okay, so thank you once again. It's great to see a lot of people in person, and thank you for everyone who joined us online as well. It's a very important day for Quently, and just a few housekeeping items, right? For people who have joined us remotely, all of your mics have been muted by default. In the interest of time, if you have any questions, please use the Q&A option through the Teams console. This is only for those online people. You don't have to look at me that seriously. This is only for those people who have joined us online. Please post your questions in the Q&A box through the Teams console. At the end of the session, we will consolidate all of them, put that in a FAQ document, and we will share with everyone. And for people who are here, please post your questions to Anand after the session or during the session as well. And we will include all of them and we'll share the consolidated FAQ document. I am personally very proud of today, the concerted effort of the last 24 months from the products team has finally gotten us to where we are, and I'm sure that by the end of the event, all of you will have one more reason to be proud of. So with that, I will hand it over to Prasanna. Prasanna, are you there with us? Prasanna, are you there?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes. Someone said the voice is good. Thank you. Okay, see? All right, Prasanna, the stage is all yours. Why don't you set the context for why we are all grouped here? Why is it so important? What's in its store for Quently, and what we can look forward to as an organization as well. So, Prasanna, over to you.
All right. So, first of all, welcome everyone. I know Rupesh said it's a big day, but I think most big days starts with many small days, and then they start with many sleepless nights and everything else that goes with that. Today is super special to all of us. We sometimes talk about Ted as one of our first salespeople, one of our first employees, and in several different contexts. But there's more to that, right? So there's so much more to that. So we this has been something that's been in the making for so long. We've tried to reach, we've tried to do something that we were not doing before. We were trying to do something that we tried to create something. We tried to do many things according to where we wanted to be in terms of thought leadership, in terms of everything that we stood for. But what it came down to was reacting, right? So reacting and readdressing the situation, doing a lot of retrospection and reaching for the stars one more time. It's been made possible by several people who contributed to the products over the past, I want to say over the past year, and it's been really reimagined, and we had to readdress a lot of the issues. I'm trying to use the word re as much because I feel like re is one of the most powerful words in the English language. If you really think about it, you got to be ready to be able to use re every single time you fall because you're going to learn from that, right? And we did, and we came back from that really strong. We realigned, we readmitted that we were at fault, and we re-architected, re-solution, reimagined. And today we are at the most powerful re that we can imagine, right? So we are at a point where we have a product suite that we can all be extremely proud of. And the product team, I mean, take a bow. I mean, the work that you guys have put in over the years has come out really well. Assuming leadership of something that was going south and correcting the ship and bringing it all together is extremely very special. So extremely grateful for what you have done, the product, the vision, and everything that has come together, everything from the simple user experience to the complex problems that it solves and everything else in between that makes that happen. I feel is cause for celebration. So pat yourself on the back if you in any shape or form contributed to any of these products. Pat yourself on the back because this is super special, super momentous for all of us. It's going to do many things for us, right? So we are in the business of transforming the businesses of our customers. So to retransform our own product suite took some special effort, And I know how many sleepless nights went into it, and how many people put their efforts into this. So really, I mean, pat yourself there, and Anand, thank you for your leadership and everything that you've done. So I won't take the stage from you. I think this is your special moment, your special day. So I will let the product team shine in the spotlight.
Okay.
I'm
Thank you, Prasanna.
assuming you guys can still hear me. Yeah.
Yes,
All
yes,
right.
yes. We can hear you. So thank you for those kind words, Prasanna. And yeah, I didn't know why I had to say this, but Anand, it's all yours. Sorry.
Hello? Oh, it is working actually. Hi there, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for joining this product relaunch today. As Prasanna has mentioned, it's been quite a journey. I mean, it's taken quite a bit of everyone's love and energy to put this whole thing together, and especially this day is important to us. And I'm going to be showing you what our products do today in a very quick demo, in a quick trailer, right? I mean, let's start with that. Take a look at what's happening today, and then from there we'll dive right into the demonstration. Okay? Yeah. Change for them. All right. Ready? So that's what we are doing today. We are in the business of transforming organizations. And Quintily has been very fortunate to participate in some of these transformations, right? Everyone gets an opportunity once in a while, but we have been very fortunate that over the last 7 years, we have been continuously transforming our clients' businesses. And that's quite a journey. That has a lot of that needs a lot of expertise that needs to go from our side, a lot of learnings that we had in doing that, and to be able to deliver success to our customers, which means essentially success to their end customers, brought a lot of learnings for us. And in this process, we have always set forth our products in a very integrated fashion with the overall delivery that we do, right? Over the last couple of years, and especially last 2 years, we have taken a relook at the products that we have built, and we have grown these products in the productivity space, right? I mean, that's what it really comes down to. In enabling organizations to have highly productive teams and have value delivering outcomes was the center stage to our products. And there are very specific areas that we zoomed in on to be able to do this. Something that comes from learning, as we mentioned, right? So I'm gonna show you a little bit of history here, right? So in 2016, for all those who do not already know, we first introduced TED into the market. And that is really how we started our Quintily journey. And TED transformed the way organizations use the data. In 2018, we introduced Mobi that impacted the way automation is built in the companies. And in 2019, we introduced Pace into systems that impacted the way customer experiences are delivered. And through this journey, we have come up with these three products, and we have noticed a couple of things, right? I mean, we have reimagined this whole situation, and we've built solutions because something was effectively not working well. What are they? There are multiple tools, there are multiple companies that that claim to deliver transformations. There are tools that help automate. There are tools that help you plan customer experiences. So what was essentially the problem? What you're looking at is three specific things when an organization is trying to transform it. The biggest pieces, one of the biggest things is the governance, the agility in how the organization transforms, and the governance over that agility is one of the things. And this meant the data explosion for the people who are involved in transformation programs, right? I mean, what you're looking at essentially looks like this for anyone who's in the governance space. A lot of data in Excel sheets, a lot of dashboards, and continuously being bombarded with data points and continuously coming up with problems. And the need to focus on the most important thing first becomes so tedious that it becomes a mind-numbing activity for them essentially. And a lot of time is lost in collaborating and meeting and operational activities, right? It is 80-20 really, noise versus achievement. In governance space, 80% becomes noise and 20% actually becomes governance. So that was one problem. Second is how organizations automate. And when you think of automation, that is what comes to mind, right? It is for the engineers. It is coding involved. It is the technical users. You have a need for a technical personality to come in and assist you. Although you are the business domain expert, although you can contribute to a rock solid customer experience, you had a dependency on the technical team to be able to deliver automation into the work. And that made it a big bottleneck, right? And then with the customer experience. Now, customer experience, again, as I mentioned, there are a lot of tools in the market already that are tracking, giving you a lot of data. They give you signals about what's going on. They're telling you what your customers are liking, what they don't like, and a lot of things happen, right? Again, it becomes complex to make sense out of all this, to be able to understand, to be able to anticipate a failure before that happens is going to become important, right? I mean, there are a lot of tools that will tell you an after fact. But it really becomes important to understand what is about to happen, or essentially, you want to be rest assured when you're sleeping that your products are delivering customers the experience that they need, right? So these three were big challenging areas in any organizational transformation, to govern them and to drive a lot of automation into the system and to be on top of the customer experience without that becoming a hassle. So with these three problems, what we have built is we have reimagined our product suite and made it really simple. One is, it has this revolutionary everyday, every person's UI that will allow for any person to easily Sorry for the technical glitch here.
The usual.
Yeah. Can you hear me okay? This group, can you hear me okay? Okay. How about the folks on Teams? Can you guys hear me okay? Yeah, confirmation. So, the products that we have, what we decided to solve in our products is to introduce a very simple, everyday man's user interface for them to be able to drive this transformation. Second is to speak simple English, right? To be able to interact with business users or any non-technical users in the language that they understand and take it back and translate into the necessary technical actions that need to be done is what took a prime focus. And then to be accurate and to become analytical, to assist people in this journey was another thing. And while we are building all these products, we wanted to make sure that these become really effective and efficient assistants, but they don't become intrusive in your life. right? We didn't want to bombard the user all the time, popping up on their phones, popping up in their emails, saying, tell us this, tell us that. We didn't want to do that, right? We wanted to introduce the intelligence that will drive the operational efficiency into the teams, engineering efficiency into the teams, while being non-intrusive to the daily activities. And hence the ecosystem that we have here, right? So what you're looking at essentially are the driving principles for the product suite. And we have built this on the right philosophy, right? And there are 3 driving philosophies for our products, is to do the right thing at the right time and do it right the first time. That is what drove the ideology and the direction of this product. And there are areas in which we wanted to specifically deliver these 3 rights, right? One is the data estate. Being a product that will become central enabler to drive the transformation, it is super crucial for us to make sense out of data, right? So we need to build the data estate from all the existing ecosystem that an organization has. So TED, Moby, and Pace have become really powerful at being able to take data from many, many sources and make sense out of it, right? And then the security. At an organization, I mean, all of you are already familiar with how important security is for all of us, that the security has also been sitting at the center focus for us in terms of handling the customer data and what they can do with it, right? And once you have this data, organizing this data around the business value that gets delivered to the customers become the next big thing. And to do that, we have created really effective studio that will allow for customers to build their business flows, that will intelligently capture what is most important business flow for their customers, and it will capture the tech stack that is involved, the tech layers that are involved in the application ecosystem, and then it will allow you to configure the business critical functionalities and the layers involved, and also the correlation that we need to do in between these set of applications, right? So there is a way in which all these functions get defined, can be designed, for which a studio was introduced. Then comes AI, right? And that is no new guy to any of these people here today. So AI has been very specifically handled to make the most important things unbelievably simple, right? And when we talked about doing the right thing at the right time, that is what we meant, where you come in and you know what is the right thing that you need to focus on, and that's very important. And TED's intelligence, the AI that we built into it, Quintellis AI that we built into it, it will help people focus on, like I said, the right aspects in the right time and in the right amount. And we are at an influx point with the audio and the video technologies that are coming into the market, and it is becoming core to the product ecosystem to be able to understand, interact in voice, and to be able to process images and videos for engineering purposes. The way we see image and video processing today is very customer-centric, or everyday life-centric view to it for what these things are used. But when you think about it, right, in an organization, in the engineering, the application of image processing or voice processing or image processing or the document processing or basically the content that you have, processing of that for improving the maturity of your engineering organization or to drive much more automation into the organization is yet to be fully achieved. And that is where we focused on bringing these specific integrations. And synchronization, right? All the products that we have are so well synchronized that when you use them in tandem, the value that they deliver is powerful. And even without having to use all 3 of them, even if you use each one of them separately, the value that it delivers is unbelievable. So those are what we have done today. And this is not a far dream that we still have that we are trying to achieve, put out there and see if it works or not, right? This is something that we have already been doing. Today, the ecosystem that we have is all the products are more than 500,000 lines of code that have been over the time tested over 5,000 times. And we've already implemented this in over 5 enterprises. And we are in many new conversations with 2 large banks and a leading financial insurance company, and many more companies who are interested in using our product suite. So that's the footprint that we have going on today. Let me talk a little bit about how these products are built, right? What went into it? What's the anatomy of these products? So the main ingredient, the main mastermind, as we refer to it, is an engine that will collect, that interacts, that acts as a network between all of our products, and it creates a brain that essentially delivers all the sensitivity and all the powerful capabilities that enables the AI to deliver all these powerful capabilities, right? So Mastermind is the name of the engine that we have. And we are an open source build. The product is built over many open source technologies to make sure that the contribution to this product ecosystem becomes much simpler for the engineer community. So we wanted to keep it as open as possible. And in terms of the recognition technologies, we made sure we integrated with the most popular AI technologies that are available out there with AWS and Microsoft Azure. At the same time, we are building our own AI capability, which is called ARC. So we are making sure that the AI technologies that our products can handle are pretty much everything that exists out there. And confidentiality of the data, as I mentioned, is a very important aspect. So across our product suite, although it is built using open source tools and although it has got our proprietary AI going on behind it, the data is completely secure. The data is secure at rest, the data is secure in transit, and the data is secure when it is in use. And as you see, we have already integrated with over 50 connectors, out-of-box connectors that we have going on in the product, which will pull large amount of data in any given enterprise. From the voice front, we have integrated with Alexa, Google Home, and we have got our own voice recognition capability built in our products, which we refer to as TED, right? TED is the brain, essentially speaking, and that kind of goes into every product, and it has got its own voice recognition capabilities. And the way we are leveraging voice today is by taking some preliminary use cases of interacting with the business users in delivering their content anywhere on the fly, specific to their programs. So there is, today you're all already familiar with the ChatGPT word. It has been going on for quite a few weeks now. And by the way, we also integrate with ChatGPT. What we are getting really good at is delivering very custom content to the users who are trying to look for something with a good context, right? And a popular use case that we were able to service is to be able to deliver talking points before people are going into their meeting about their specific project. You can talk to Alexa, you can talk to a home, you can talk to TED itself, asking for a summary of what's going on in the project that you can use in your meeting, and it's going to deliver that to you on your phones via email or the chat assistant that is built in these products. So let's look at what kind of AI other applications we have going on, right? What you're looking at is the projection capability where a specific project or a program is going on, and people crack the data that is happening today, and they speculate based on that data if the release will be met or not, right? A very engineering specific use case. Now what you're seeing is this capability where TED will give you a release confidence by projecting the data based on the historical data that it has from your organization, based on historically the way releases have gone, based on the defect, based on the burn down, and based on the velocity. It is going to project a release confidence, and it is going to show you the data points of how it will end up looking like if you move the way you're moving, right? So that is very powerful in terms of projection capabilities. And then we have image processing capabilities, right? So when it comes to being able to understand the difference in between the builds that are coming in, right? Understanding what got newly built, what feature is trying to get delivered to the customer, is an important thing to understand fundamentally in the engineering space, right? I mean, based off of that, you're going to be validating the business is going to be validating whether or not that feature is working the way it should. And to be able to do that, understanding what is there to what is coming in is very important. And to do that, traditionally we have relied on play and record capabilities, and we have relied on manual test expansion capabilities to do the validation. And our products also have that, the manual effort, the manual way of doing it. But they also have this image-based delta identification, which is going to look at your current, the older build that is out there with the customers. It is going to look at the newer build that has come in, and it is going to be processing an image recognition-based delta computation, and then will offer suggestions for your validation based on all the data it already has. So that is pretty powerful for the business people, for the non-technical business people who do not have to go into the code to be able to automate, just to be able to upload a build and your tool based on the image recognition. It is going to see the difference, and it is going to offer suggestions for what test expansion should be done, to which they can contribute, is very powerful in an organization to add to automation. And then we have smart application, right? So when you think about it, in the engineering workflow, what typically happens is you automate, and then your automation detects if something has failed, and then notifies you, and then the system has to wait till you get back with your team and communicate what has gone wrong, and debug and do all these things, right? So the waiting period from the point of you knowing that something failed to the team coming back to address it, especially in the kind of ecosystem that we have in a distributed environment today, can go over 12 hours, right? So what we are doing currently is have a feature called smart settings that will allow the system to go ahead and raise a ticket based on the intelligence that it has, based on the code commits that were done, based on the list of people that have handled this module of code. It is going to identify who this ticket could potentially belong to, and it will create a service ticket for them and automatically assign the owners, right? And with that, you are essentially saving a lot of time, and you're keeping the continuous engineering process in a distributed engineering engineering team flowing without interrupts, right? And then you have resource optimization. So speaking of resource optimization, let's take an example of mobile devices, right? And this is a popular example. This is a popular use case for us, where there are assets, test infrastructure assets, like mobile devices, like the browsers, that are reserved by a specific team, that are, by the way, purchased on license by the organization and are reserved by some teams, and they go idle in usage, right? Whether or not they're using, they're reserved for some people. And those resources get accumulated and they add to the cost. And when someone else needs them, we either end up, the organization either ends up spending more amount in procuring more licenses, or it will have to go through a long process to optimize those resources, right? What we have here is a very smart resource optimization capability that will look at the idle time and the usage statistics of this test infrastructure, and it will prompt if any resources are not being used, and if configured to be automatic, they will release those resources automatically for the remainder of the company to use. That will allow for a lot of resource optimization and cost optimization when it comes to engineering costs within the team. And then the builder, right, the data correlation builder. Now what you're looking at is one of the most powerful capabilities that we have today, where the data correlation within an engineering function or across the organization, across the cross-functional data, the correlation of the data is just a drag and drop. All you need to do is, because we are already integrated with so many data sources and we have access to that kind of data, you can see all the data that is available within the tool, you can pick up which data points you would like to correlate, and then drag and drop them, and it is going to build tables and charts that are going to correlate this data and give you the insights that you're looking for. Again, and focus for non-technical users. You're not dependent on any kind of BI teams to write complex queries, and you're not dependent on any manual resourcing to be able to build those charts for you, build those reports for you. Instead, you can just go and you can drag and drop and build what you want and correlate the data. And then we have compliance, right? With growing need for compliance, especially in sensitive industries like BFSI and healthcare, there's a growing need for compliance. And two things, right? One is a market compliance like the HIPAAs, PCI DSS, European unions. You've got these market compliances. Plus you've got internal compliances that every team must stand by, right? So there is a big need for something called compliance management. And it takes quite a bit of time and energy from the teams that are in the scope of compliance to put together the evidences for these compliances, right? To be able to be compliant for against these guidelines. Now, what we have here is a very cool capability to create compliance program and assign them across the organizations. And because we already have the data, remember we already are integrating with numerous number of data sources, and because we already have the data, we will automatically put together the evidences for the audit teams to use as a part of their compliance reporting guidelines. It takes away all the manual activity from any team that is involved in the process to put together the evidences, to take screenshots, to upload, to report, to discuss over it. Instead of all that, because we have data and because we have intelligence to automatically put that together, that's all baked right in to put those reports for the auditing function. Plus any kind of governance that you would like to have over the organization, they can create compliance programs and assign it and automatically track what's going on against each of these guidelines. Sustainability, one of the compliances, right, when you think about it. So today every organization is striving hard to be sustainable in terms of the environment friendliness and how they use their resources and what they use it for. And this is an effort that is this is an initiative that is usually run outside of your daily life, and it is an add-on, right, as of today for the organizations. But with the tools that we have built, it becomes a very integral function to you, right? It captures the data based on your lifestyle, based on what you tell the tools, and like I said, based on some of the declarations that you give. It is going to put together the compliance, the sustainability data in terms of the commute, in terms of the papers that you use, paper usage, in terms of the plastic usage, in terms of the infrastructure that you're using for your applications, what kind of footprint that you have going on with these applications, and across all the plethora of issues, right? I mean, across all these areas, it will allow you to start looking at your sustainability score that is very specific to your team. And then we have the chat assistant. So today we have TED and Moby and Pace, all of them compatible with ChatGPT. And as I mentioned some time back, we have our own AI built into it that also handles chat assistance, right? The questions can range from support-related questions related to the product, saying where can I find something, all the way to can you tell me what's going on in my meeting, in my project, right? So it supports a wide variety of use cases today for the user. And then we have unwise spending alert. This is one other application that we have brought in place, where there is a correlation where the data specific to feature building and specific to defect infusion is tracked, is looked at by the product. And let's take an example, right? Let's say you spent around $25,000 in trying to build a feature over 6 months. And then in a maintenance mode, you spend $30,000 in fixing defects on it, in fixing ongoing defects on it. And at some point, this will stop making sense, right? Because your cost of maintenance is more than the cost of investment itself. So that is a very popular pulse point that engineering organizations need to look at to make wise decisions. Not popularly done in all the organizations because it is really, really complicated to pull that data, cost of feature and cost of defect, because a lot of factors go into it, and computing that is not a simple function. But with TED, it is a plug and play. So that's the highlights of how we have done AI application in all our product suite. What we will do is we'll take a look at the actual products itself. We'll start with Pace, and then we'll look at Mobi, and then we'll show the TED part. Okay. Can everyone see my screen? Folks on the call? Okay. So what you're looking at is Pace, right? We'll focus on the customer experience first, right? We talked about being on top of your customer experiences and trying to understand before something fails, or being on top of your customer experience in terms of how your applications are performing when you're not monitoring, essentially has been the function. So what you're looking at in Pace is multiple data points that are monitored, and what it does essentially is it generates a distributed load. What I mean by that is Pace is gonna act as your end user, and it is going to replicate itself from multiple geographies. It is going to mimic itself as multiple users, and it is going to start to try and access your application and perform certain functions, right? And by the time you get back to work, it is going to tell you how those particular things have performed. Now, putting this in the context of business critical flows across the applications, as I mentioned, we have a very simple to use, effective studio in which users can configure the business critical flows, configurable by the business users, and they can configure from where users should be mimicked, in what amounts, and Pace is going to do that, and it is going to get back to you by the time you wake up and tell you how your application has performed in variety of these areas, and start giving you recommendations to anything that did not perform well. So what you're looking at essentially here is all those data points of how each of these areas have performed, and you can get into specific, let us say a particular application or area did not perform well. You can delve into the details, and it is going to show what exactly did not work for this application, and you can go to the business flows that are involved in this application and look at the critical flows that have been configured. That takes a second because it's a lot of important data and a lot of analysis that happens. So what you're looking at here are all the critical flows of this particular application. Let's say North Star is one of your customer-facing applications that is gonna. Sorry. So let's say it is one of the customer-facing applications that you put out there to attract the new customers, to let them have create accounts, and to become a part of your business. And then to do that, you're allowing them to redeem an offer, and you're allowing them to make a payment. Now, these are the kind of flows that no company ever wants to be down, right? Now, think about it. If you were a business yourself, what you never want to be down, or where you want A-grade customer experiences in creating an account, you want to make it as simple as possible for people to onboard themselves. When they're trying to make a payment to you, you don't want that to be down at any cost, right? And then you've spent a lot of money on trying to get your product in front of the customers, and you've released an offer code to them, and you're trying to have them redeem it. You don't want that to be down. And similarly, you will have many, many flows that are critical to your business operations, right? So you can configure all those flows through the play and through record and playback and through automatical analysis that we have going on, or you can design that in a studio and crack performance against each of these areas separately. And as I mentioned, it is gonna generate recommendations for each of these flows of what is not performing well, if anything is found, right? So in this particular case, you are looking at all the business flows, but if you look at a create account business flow and to see how it is performing in general, you can go to that and it is going to show you how that create account is performing across many data points and the recommendations for you to keep it up and active, right? So that is what predominantly happens in PACE, and how we achieve that is, as you look at here, there is going to be a code that we will generate. Think of it like a tracker that you will share with the customer, which customer is going to include in all their business flows, right? Now this code generation is pretty simple, and sharing that with the engineering teams is pretty simple, and once they include it, your PACE system is up and running. So that is how we have PACE help customer experience assurance. And then we have Mobi. So what you're looking at is how organizations can automate effectively without having to really be a technical user, right? So this is an absolute no-code platform, as I mentioned, that will interact with you in plain language, plain English, and will run the remaining technical functions on its own. So in this product as well, what you see is the capability to build your business critical flows. That is something that is absolutely centric to all of our products. You can build your business-centric flows, and then you can create insights, and you can build the layers. And what I mean by layers is the layers that are involved in an application stack, right? You have a front-end layer, you have a middleware layer, you have a business logic layer, you have data layer, a database layer. And this combination changes in the same organization for every application stack, right? So what Mobi will allow you is to design those layers for your specific applications against which data is mapped and tracked, and will allow you to start looking at root cause of any failure much more effectively, right? So on the dashboard, what you're looking at is it'll show you, as I mentioned some time back, it is going to be very important for the managers to look at the cost of feature and the cost of defects, so it is always going to keep a tab on that. And it's constantly checking for any business critical flow failures, and it is going to notify you if anything failed after the tickets have been created and assigned to their respective owners. So there is also a good chance that by the time you wake up and look at this ticket, it is already resolved, right? Because the developer has already been assigned to it. And it's going to show the resource optimizations and quite a few interesting data points about what you need to know in general from a quality standpoint, like defect densities and the aging and automation ROI and things of that sort, right? And then you have an area where builds are constantly uploaded. So what you're looking at is a place where developers or quality engineers upload builds when it is ready for testing. That will then move through certain series of self-running steps, nothing that the user needs to perform. They're going to go through a series of steps and create a suite ready, create a situation ready for the business user or the technical user to come and start automating, right? So what you're looking at here is after a build has been uploaded, how it is crawled and how it is identified, and how the difference between the builds have been identified, how new elements are added to the pages have been identified, and what actions have been auto-created from those elements, right? So it is going to do quite a few things. But there's a good chance that the user may never come to these page, right? Because it is something that is running in the background. As I mentioned, we are as non-intrusive as we can be. So after a build is uploaded, all you have to do is directly go to the test management page where you can start working on your test enhancement, right? So what you're seeing here is how the test cases are maintained and managed. So Mobi has comprehensive test management capabilities like any other good tool out there, where test cases can be created in plain simple, as I mentioned. And from this point is where the automatic test script generation happens, right? So you have a build identified, you have the difference in between the builds identified, and the data is processed and kept ready in the background for the business folks. And then they can come here and they can create test enhancement in plain simple English language, like you see, log into the application, verify the text code, configure so and so. So they just write it in plain English language, and these get picked up, and scripts are automatically generated in the background to test the flows, right? So we have then the test infrastructure side, as I mentioned. The product offers quite comprehensive infrastructure optimization capabilities, or in other words, you can create shared cloud lab of browsers and mobile devices with your rest of the team. This is something that we are already using in Quintelli to access the devices that we have and share them across the team. So you can create a lab essentially that will you can create a lab for yourself with your devices, and it works on multiple flavors. One second. I was trying to create a web lab. Maybe I'll show you a mobile lab. So based on what kind of system that you have, Windows, Linux, or Mac, it is gonna give you an installer which will take care of the entire setup by itself. Nothing that you have to do in between. All you have to do is keep your inventory connected to the laptop, and you run the installer, and it is going to set up the cloud mobile lab that you can now start sharing with the remainder of the teams. Speaking from a continuous engineering standpoint, there is a job scheduler, and we also integrate with popular tools like Jenkins and GitLabs to automatically configure jobs. And this is an area where you can, from within Mobi, configure those jobs. And as I mentioned, reporting is one of the powerful capabilities because the mastermind, the base brain behind the whole thing, gives quite comprehensive insights into what's going on from the defect standpoint, from the engineering standpoint, right? So you can get execution reports, and you can see the cost of defect to cost of feature reports. And then we've introduced something called financials, which is a very popular question that comes up among the organizations of any scale, saying, hey, we are investing in automation. How much is it really benefiting us, directly or indirectly, right? Either time-wise or cost-wise. So these are two questions that have always remained in everyone's mind, that we have answered multiple times with many clients in many conversations, and we have introduced that tracking as financials within the product itself, where people can see how much exactly is automation helping them in terms of time and money. Right? And then we have workspace, which is pretty interesting, where workspace is an area where people live their life day in, day out. Now, all the parts of tool that you have seen so far are something that you configure, that you come back to once in a while when there is a change and whatnot, right? But workspace is one consolidated area for you where a change happens, a build is committed, code is committed, it gets picked up, and Mobi identifies the functional flow that is impacted by that particular commit, by that particular build, and also presents to you the data of which tests may be potentially impacted, and starts making recommendations of what tests else you need to look at, and will allow for you to automatically enhance the test coverage right here. Right? So this is very powerful in terms of data correlation that an engineer or anyone that is involved in the product management space who's trying to validate something out, right? So when a particular feature is added, when a particular code is committed, in other words, right, what all gets impacted in this process is a very, very, very comprehensive area, and there's quite a bit of dependency, and that's where there's a lot of chatter in between the product teams and the engineering teams, and there is always a lot of scope for leakage in information, because you're really depending on each other, a human entity, to do this data correlation, be smart, remember things, refer to the tools, look for the right data, look for it comprehensively, and bring it back for decision making, right? So all that is taken care right here, where system does all that job for you, and at any point of time you can be rest assured that the system has scanned through all the test inventory that has ever existed in your organization and is presenting to you the impact of what essentially needs to be looked at. So that is very powerful for the engineering teams or engineering organizations. And Mobi has chat system enabled in itself too. That will allow you, as I mentioned, to use this as a product assistant, or it helps you. It is integrated with ChatGPT as well. So it is going to go out and look for information and answer to you. It is going to look for information within your product, and it is going to give you answers. So it is going to be one space where you can continue your conversations, right? And then we're going to come and talk about Mobi, the most comprehensive mastermind that we have going on behind all the products. So when you get into the product, what you will essentially be able to do is, as I mentioned, you will be able to design your data around the value streams, right? I mean, there is something called value stream that will allow for any organization nowadays is adopting to. It is to organize your programs, initiatives, projects by the end value that is delivered to the customer. That is what they refer to as value streams. So TED will allow you to design those value streams in the product, which then fundamentally get used in sync across all the product suite. And all the data, all the automation, and all the correlation that is done is mapped against the customer value that gets delivered, right? So the fundamental design for that comes from the value stream creation. And then TED dashboard, when you come in, it gives you quite comprehensive information about your application health, the top of the things that you need to do, right? And this is where the dashboards are where the right thing to do and the right time to do has always been the focus, right? We've built these landing dashboards to always show you the most important information first that you need to act on. And if you have configured it to be automatic in terms of performing the subsequent actions, it in fact performs the operations also and will come back with an update saying, hey, the most important thing that you need to look at is the unwise spend. And you know what, I've already acted on it, and I'm letting you know if you want me to change how it has been done, right? So it is a very intelligent area where it shows you what is going on in terms of spending, in terms of the confidence, in terms of your compliance, and how you're doing in terms of your sustainability footprint, and so on and so forth. Then you have the Project Central itself, the value stream dashboarding itself, that will allow you to create any of your specific dashboards for yourself. Now, the tools can do a lot of things for you on its own, but at the end of the day, every person has their own favorite. They would like to have their own dashboard that they have created that looks and feels in the way they can consume the information. So all the three products have Canvas setup through which you can build your dashboards by dragging and dropping, as I mentioned, which will then do the data correlation automatically, and it will allow you to create your dashboard and share your dashboard with other people through collaboration on the same dashboard through the TED, or you schedule an email delivery for a group of people that you want, which becomes every day morning, 8 o'clock, send 4 of us this report. That's what gets happened. You can share the dashboard using links, and you can download the report and use it the way you want, right? So that goes on into dashboards. Now, we have introduced something called metric library, which is very interesting and which is very, very, very powerful, right? And I say that because, as I mentioned, right, TED is a tool that helps in governance, in simplifying governance. One of the big pain points in governance is, number one, to have a pulse on something, to know what you need to have a pulse on is the first thing. And once you know that, to be able to put together that tracking point, right, it takes 70% of time, it takes more than average effort to put that together and to constantly monitor it because of how much of operational complexity is involved in the process, right? And as the size of the organizations grow, when you go up in the pyramid, when you look at that 5%, 10% of the large-scale organizations, if you would like to introduce one single tracking point, you're literally talking to around 10 teams to give you certain kind of information in a particular format with certain freshness to it for you to be able to, effectively use that monitoring point. But with TED, because we are integrated in the ecosystem and pulling data from multiple places in real time, that becomes super easy because we've introduced something called metric library, which is a pre-built set of KPIs and metrics that you can track. Right? All you have to do is you have to configure that onto your dashboard, and it will, like I said, since it has access to the data, it spins up that particular tracking point in a heartbeat. And we have more than 122 such data points added today to the library, which spans across the engineering organization, the sales organization, the marketing organization, and quite a few data points have been correlated out of box for the organization to start spinning up. And the goodness does not just end there, right? Each of the organization may have a different way in which a particular metric is computed, right? Because of their specific cases. And the capability that we have is for a particular metric, you see that multiple formulae is supported by default, and based on the experience that we have in the transformation program. And if anyone wants to still build their own custom metric, they can always go back to the builder and build a chart for themselves and put it on their dashboard. So it is quite comprehensive from that angle. And then we have compliance automatic control management, which refers to the compliance programs that we were talking about some time back. And every organization has both internal compliance and external market compliance. And what we are doing here is providing pre-built templates. Just like we have built our metrics and we are offering them out of box, we have built pre-built templates of these compliance programs that can be picked up by the organizations and start using. And it is configurable, right? They can add to it, and they can create multiple versions of it, and they can create multiple of them and start assigning it to their teams in the way they want. And there is a whole gamut of evidence management that happens automatically once these programs are offered. Now, what you're looking at is the live mode, right? I mean, this is what is available. But when you go to the history of how a particular execution has happened, and when, let's say, you pick up a particular case, you will see how these guidelines have performed and which steps have passed and which steps have failed. And there's going to be quite comprehensive evidence reporting that is done on top of it. And it shows for a particular guideline how the evidence has been managed, right? This is a living, growing area where there is a particular guidelines, something like PCI DSS, something like an internal data compliance or data security guideline. That is never going to end across an organization. That guideline is going to be there forever. However, your compliance to it on an ongoing basis, because you are living a dynamic life, keeps changing. And all that history of how the compliance for this in your particular area has evolved is something that is tracked as a timeline and shown to you over the period of time. So you will have full context when you're reporting compliance on it. So that's from ACM standpoint. Then sustainability, as I mentioned, sustainability is a big focus area for all of us, and globally for all the organizations. This is something that everyone is interested to look at. So we have made it really simple for the organizations to start looking at their footprint in terms of sustainability, specifically from the carbon footprint and the energy intensity and a few other areas, right? So when you think about it, how do you contribute negatively to the footprint is typically coming from your lifestyle and how organization conducts itself, right? It comes from how much you commute, what kind of vehicle do you use, how many times you print something in a day, what kind of containers does your operations team purchase for you? Are they plastic? Are they something else? And are you guys saving any water or not? And let's bring that same conversation to the technology, right? When we are building an application, let's say you're hosting that in a data center that is located somewhere in a relatively hotter area, then it means that the air conditioning that you would need to keep those data centers cool is extremely high. That will directly contribute to the amount of energy that gets consumed by that particular data center. Let us say that particular data center is consuming thermal energy. Then your application that's hosting data on a data center that is running on thermal energy is contributing to the carbon footprint. So think about how much of data needs to get correlated to analyze your footprint directly or indirectly. And that is something that we do out of box right here. For you to improve yourself and behave more responsibly, not just from the operation side, but even from the application building side, it becomes very simple for you to do this. So the tracking spans across the energy efficiency, the organizational life cycle, and the infrastructure efficiency, specifically speaking. Right? So that's what we have going on the TED side. So that all these capabilities put together make TED, Mobi, and Pace a very powerful assistant product suite that has got a lot of intelligence in data, in the data estate, that will help your organization become much more effective in the governance and to democratize automation, as we mentioned, to more and more allow you to automate easily and to allow you to be on top of the customer experience that you have at the end of the day delivered, are the three prime areas in which our products are contributing to, and which are also standing most powerful pillars for any transformation program. And today we have built these products in both SaaS and private cloud flavors. And as I mentioned, we already have 5 of these implementations completed, and we are in close to 25 new conversations that are going on for our product new deployments. So with that, I'm gonna close my product demo and see what we have next. Yeah, so with that, we close the product demo, and I wanted to take a minute to thank the people who have been involved in building of these products over the last many years, who have been directly responsible to bringing this product to this day. And this is here to grow, and I'm pretty sure that many more people will join the force and be excited about contributing to the product internally, and will make sure that we reach newer heights. Thank you.
With you, Anand.
I think that's a pretty big list. So once more, a round of applause to all the product people. Come on. It's very easy for all of us to be here without realizing the effort that each and every one of them have taken. So a sincere thank you from me, from everyone else, and I think you all deserve a big applause for that. So keep it up, keep up the same spirit, and I'm sure we'll do great things going forward. Rashi, I would like to, Prasanna had his chance, so. Yeah. Prasanna, sorry, were you saying something?
I was asking, are all these people in the room with you?
Some of them, yes. Where are the product folks? I think it's time to
Please step up and walk to the front of the room.
Whoever comes first will get a treat. Come on. This is fantastic seeing all of you in the Quintily t-shirt. This is amazing. No Quintily t-shirt? All right. They're all very shy actually. So. Please. Anyone who's here in the office who contributed to products in the past, don't say yes just for the sake of saying yes, because we know who did and who did not. Yeah, any version of TED that you know. Anyone? Raju, are you sure? Okay. Alrighty, we finally have you there. I know we're all waiting for dinner, but please smile. What do we do now? If Priya was there, she would have said boomerang. Thankfully, she's not here, so good. Okay.
All right, Rashi, are you going to say something?
Yes. Rashi, 1 second, here yours.
I mean, you guys can walk back. Thank you so much. Thank you for all the efforts. Thank you, guys. I think Prasanna mentioned about how this product has lived through the journey, and we've heard from Anant about all the products. I would just like to say thank you so much for all your contributions. This is a big day for all of us, relaunching all our products today. Congratulations again. I would like to appreciate everybody's effort. Pat on your back, because I think we have customers lined up, and that's what we want when we say product is getting launched or relaunched, right? So we've got our customers lined up to sign on Mobi, on TED. So I think that's an endorsement that yes, it's getting out there. We are going to get. We're going to generate revenue on these products now, right? So, congratulations. And thank you. That's all. I'm not going to stand between dinner and. Yeah, thank you, guys.
All right. Just one final closing moment. Once again, thank you for all the effort that you put together. If you all.
Rupesh, I have something to add before we close.
Yes, sir. Okay, Prasanna, all yours.
I hope you guys can hear me okay. I didn't hear an applause when everyone showed up, but guys know that we're all applauding and cheering for you as you go from here to the journey and on the journey. So a couple things, right? So it wasn't a very long time ago when a TED POC or a TED implementation a POC would take anywhere between 3 and 4 months, and an implementation would take anywhere between 6 and 7 months, right? So now we're sitting here where I could literally go on ted.quintelli.com and sign up for a trial version. So we are truly evolved into a SaaS platform that people can just sign up on, and the team would onboard them in less than a day. Okay, so just realize the magnitude of the work that would have gone behind something like that. And not just for TED, but Mobi and everyone else, right? So we could pretty much compete with the best of the best out there when it comes to mobile automation or web automation. And I refer to it as auto magic, the work that goes on in creating a test suite that can be consumed and utilized by anyone, and it's completely democratized. It's developed by everyone for everyone, and can essentially change the game when it comes to that, right? And Pace has been a really good game changer. I don't know if you guys remember the story. Most of you might not, but we started that as a thought leadership series back in 2016, almost as a framework, right? So where we would go on all of these car rental websites, flights, and hotels, and kind of make a reservation, see how well each of those websites do, and we would create a real user experience metric around that, and say, Hertz car rental, you suck. AVs, you're awesome, or Enterprise, you're okay. And we got a ton of attention for that. We got like several thousands of views back then for the articles and the videos that we'd created for that. So from there to just see how we've evolved, how far we've come is really gratifying. But what I will say is, it's amazing that we all have ideas. It's amazing that we all want to do certain things, but it takes a lot of perseverance. And these people that you see on your screen, they showed that. Okay, they were led well, and they persevered, and they were able to deliver something of huge value to the company, right? And the work is. However much I appreciate it, I feel like I'm not doing enough justice to the work that probably went behind the scenes. But I will say this though, right? So this is getting us into places that we never thought we could, compete or get into. I'm confident when I say we're doing 5 POCs. or we will soon be doing 5 POCs with Fortune 500 companies, and a couple of them are already underway, signed contracts and everything else. And we're doing all of those things. And traditionally, walking in and challenging the status quo in these companies would be really hard, because with large companies, when I say Fortune 500, you're talking multi-billion dollar companies, comes big ego, right? So you can't tell me what I'm doing or what I'm not doing, becomes the conversation. But when we walk in with these products, it's become such an easy conversation to have, because we're clearly showing them that there's so many better ways to do things, and here's how you do it, right? So I feel like this is a milestone moment for all of us, and there are several names on this slide that have probably contributed directly or indirectly, and I'm thankful to all of them as well. So if I don't call out your name, it's okay. Pat yourself still on the back, because you contributed in some shape or form. That's what we do as a complete team. So again, kudos, well done, and go celebrate your dinner or whatever else that follows. I'm not allowed to say the D word on the call, so go do what you want to, and just know that we're all cheering for you as you go from here, and we're very excited. That's all I had to say, Rupesh. Now you can go have dinner.
Thanks for those encouraging words, Prasanna. So just to reiterate, while you think as you are on your projects, right, if there are any opportunities where you think we position our tools, please reach out to there's a salesperson in me, right? Yeah. So please reach out to your respective delivery account leads. We want to have these conversations with the prospects. Of course, we are putting in a lot of efforts from the sales team, from the marketing team. We will reach out to you over the next few months. Any feedback is valid feedback. It's very important for us as we grow the organization, and we're not going to stop with just 3 products. So hoping that we're going to keep coming up with more and more products, and I think any idea, anywhere it can come from, maybe over a chai break or a sutta break, please reach out to Anand. So it's his job to filter out all the noise. Right, or we'll end up building everything, right? So once again, thank you very much, everyone. For those of you who joined us in person, there's fantastic dinner for all of us. For those who have been online, so have your food wherever you are. So. Right, thank you once again. Take care. Thank you, Anand. Thank you, Rashi. Thank you, Krishna.